Hey guys, welcome back to another graphic design tutorial. Today we're going to create a skull vector design inside Illustrator. We'll learn how to create a realistic looking object with vector shapes using some new options. So let's begin with the designing process. Open a new Illustrator document. Let's use a PNG image for this design. So drag and drop the image inside the document. Scale down the size and now we'll convert it into fill object. So click on Embed, then apply Image Trace. After that, click on Expand option. Now right click and ungroup it. Then delete out the unwanted pieces. Next, click and drag to select the skull shape along with the other pieces and apply Unite option on the Pathfinder. After that, fill it up with black color. And now, select the Delete Anchor Point tool and delete out the unwanted anchor points under nose area. Then, using the Die Selection tool, edit the shapes with the anchor points and handles. Now, we'll start adding details to the design. But before that, select the skull shape and apply a gradient color. Then go to Gradient panel and double click on the first slider to open the Attributes panel. We'll use this color code for the first slider. And we'll use this color code for the second slider. Then click and drag to apply the gradient diagonally. Next, using Delete Anchor Point tool, delete out the unwanted anchor points. And then using Die Selection tool, edit the handles to maintain the flow. Do this for all the other parts where you find corners. Now, we'll start creating some vector shapes. Firstly, take the pen tool and draw out a curved path. Then, using Die Selection tool, edit the anchor points to give a smooth curve. With these shapes, we'll give a hollow feel effect to the skull. Next, apply the same gradient color which we have applied previously. Now, edit the gradient direction. Set a dark color toward the edge and edit the position to merge it with our lower color. Now apply gradient to the stroke. Then add under slider in between the gradient sliders. Next, open the slider attributes and change the color mode to HSB. Here, increase the brightness. After that, increase the stroke thickness to around 8 pixels and under stroke attributes panel, change the profile from uniform to pointed corner. Now adjust the HSB level, gradient angle and stroke alignment. After that, we'll create out the eye part. For that, take the ellipse tool and create out an ellipse. Then, using Die Selection tool, start adjusting the anchor points to give a shape of the skull eye. Now fill it up with black color and adjust it until you match it with the perspective view. After that, create a copy of the shape with the Alt pressed and place it at the nose region. Now, using Die Selection tool, start modifying the anchor points to give a shape of hollow nose. After that, select both the shapes and using the Shape Builder tool, extract out the unwanted region. Then select and delete it out. Now select the eye shape and change the stroke profile to pointed. After that, selecting the stroke color, select the gradient tool and under gradient panel, adjust the angle of rotation. To see the adjustments, increase the stroke size. Then change the color mode to HSB and adjust the levels to reduce the brightness. Next, select the nose shape and pick the same stroke style using the eye picker tool. Then change the stroke profile to second one. Now edit the gradient slider to give a nice reflection. Increase the brightness of the color and change the angle of rotation. For nose, we'll add 2 more sliders and apply darker and brighter color shades. Keep on adjusting the attributes until you get a nice reflection. After that, take the width tool. Then click and drag inward where you want to reduce the stroke thickness. Then edit the anchor points using the direct selection tool. For the next shape, take the ellipse tool and create out a circle. For this, remove the stroke color and fill it up with gradient color. Now, using the gradient tool, open the middle slider attributes. Choose HSB and increase the brightness. After that, keep the brightness shades at the top and the bottom and dark shades in the middle. Then, spread the dark shade and adjust the angle. Now, we'll take a direct selection tool and edit the shape. Use anchor point tool to break the points and adjust the handles to maintain the flow. After that, do some adjustments with the gradient angle and the color shades. Next, go to Effect, Blur and apply Gaussian Blur. Keep the radius around 4.5 and click OK. Then go to Transparency panel and change the blend mode to Screen. And decrease the opacity around 80%. Now we'll add some glow effect under the eye. For that, take the pen tool and create a path. Switch it to stroke color and under gradient panel, select the middle slider and change the darker color to white color. Similarly, reduce the opacity to 0 for the other two sliders as well, so that the edges of the shapes get blended with the background. Now go to Stroke panel and apply second stroke profile. Next, reduce the thickness around 2 points. Then, using the width tool, decrease the stroke width at the lower corner. And now, we'll apply a Gaussian blur to give a glow effect. Set the radius around 2 pixels and click OK. Now, we'll add some glow effect at the jaw region. So, select the ellipse tool and draw out a circle. Then, in the gradient panel, keep only 2 sliders and apply darker color in the first slider. Now, keep radial gradient and reverse the color shades. Adjust the colors and with the Alt pressed, create a duplicate. Then select both the shapes and click on minus front option under Pathfinder. After that, edit the gradient tool by keeping the edges with the dark shades. Here, we'll try to match the darker color with a skull color background. Adjust until you get a glow effect to the shape. Similarly, take a pen tool again and create a shape for the glow effect. Set some gradient shades and apply a Gaussian blur to give a glow. After that, take the ellipse tool and create out a circle. Switch to fill color and change the blend mode to overlay. Now go to color swatches and fill it up with white color. Next, go to Effect, Blur, Gaussian Blur. Here, set the radius value around 2 points and click OK. This will add glow to the shape. Next, select the ellipse tool and create out an oval. Rotate the angle diagonally and remove the darker shades from the gradient panel. Then apply Gaussian blur. Now increase the radius around 50 and click OK. Now change the blend mode to Screen and reduce the opacity to around 75%. Next, we'll add some circular details to your design. So draw out a circle using the ellipse tool. Fill it up with white color. Then by pressing Alt key, create a duplicate and edit the shape with the anchor point tool. Next, create few more copies of the circle and place them randomly with a variation in size. Now take a pen tool and create a path over the glow shape. Increase the stroke thickness to around 15 points and expand it. After that, take the line segment tool and create a line over the shape. Then create 2 more duplicates and place them in the middle. Now select the lines and the shape, and using the shape builder tool, extract out these 2 regions. Now ungroup the shape and apply blue color to the empty shapes. Then delete out the other pieces. Now select these 2 shapes and apply white color. After that, change the blend mode to overlay. Now scale up the size and place them over the glow shape. Let's do some final adjustments with each of the elements. Now select the skull shape and go to Effect, Stylize, Inner Glow. Under this panel, switch on Preview and change the color to dark greenish gray color. Set the blur value around 15 pixel and the opacity value around 67% to give a 3D volume to the skull. So now our skull design is ready. After this, let's give a background. So select the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle shape. Pick the color using the eyedropper tool. Use this color code to apply the same color. After that, send it to back. Then select the skull shape and place it aside. Now do some final adjustments in the inner glow. Next, we'll add a title for our design. So using the text tool, type our text, skull vector. Apply white color and let's apply Nexa Vault font. Increase the size and reduce the spacing between each alphabet. Use Character Attributes panel to do all the changes. Next, we'll add some drop shadow effect to your design. So select the shape and go to Effect, Stylize and apply Drop Shadow. In that panel, set the shadow direction with X and Y opposite and adjust the opacity and the blur value to give a nice drop shadow effect. Finally, we have created a skull vector design inside Illustrator. We have seen how to use gradient tool to give a nice 3D effect to your design. Follow the tutorial and try to create your own versions. Then upload your project file and let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Thank you.